This gives you the direction to look in from the reference point. So, using the clock ray method, a target would be indicated like this.
350.
That's the range to the target.
Bushy-topped tree.
That's your reference point.
Right, 1 o'clock, bush on skyline.
Remember, keep the mental image of the clock face clear in your mind's eye. The target this time is
300, shed. Left, 9 o'clock, tree.
Got it? Let's check it. Remember the instructions? 300, shed, left 9 o'clock, tree. Right. Finally, there are times when it would be extremely difficult to indicate an enemy position by any of the three methods we have seen. For instance, if the enemy goes to ground in completely open, featureless country. In this sort of terrain, it's sometimes quicker and easier to indicate the target by firing tracers. The effect is like an arrow pointing straight to the target. The patrol simply direct their fire where the tracer hits. So using tracers, your target will be given like this.
300, watch this tracer, where it hits, enemy, fire!
So far, we have looked at the problems of finding, marking, and indicating the enemy in daylight. But in war, you will also be required to move and to fight by night. At night, we use our ears in place of our eyes. So you must learn to interpret all the noises you hear. Sound has shown the general direction of the enemy. Now to get closer and use sight to get a better indication of his position. Darkness imposes many difficulties and many problems. Night fighting is a technique which must be acquired through hard practice and experience. A technique which you will be shown in another film in the series. In this film, you have seen how to search grounds, taking the dangerous areas first, followed by thorough investigation of the whole area. You have also seen 4 things to look for when finding the enemy. Remember? Choice of bad firing position. Sudden movement. Careless camouflage. And the smoke and flash of weapons. Then, having located the enemy, how to indicate his position, either by direct method, relating an obvious target to the axis of the arc of fire, a combination of the direct method and the reference point used for indicating the less obvious targets in more detail, a combination of the reference point and the clock ray method for indicating the more difficult targets, by firing tracer, and finally, we have briefly touched on the important and complex problems of finding and fighting the enemy at night. All this adds up to the fact that finding the enemy requires a very high standard of mental and physical alertness, coupled with good training, practice, and sound common sense. You must be alert, develop an eye for ground, and be able to mark targets in relation to clear aiming points. Remember, observe, be alert, watch everything. Your life may depend on it.